Hey all, it's Blackbeard TCG. Yesterday I had two local tournaments, and I took Blackbeard with me. So after playing some games on the sim, I thought it was a good idea to bring Blackbeard with me to play in real life, to see where I stand with the deck, um, and if it was possible to win some games. Um, I noticed a huge difference playing on the sim and in real life. It's the automatic stuff that happens on the sim. It makes the game a little bit easier. And the thing with playing in real life versus the simulator, it's like uh, I can think more with the with the sim. There's not any interaction with your opponent. Um, And with recording these videos, I'm talking out loud and I have to do it in my head. And I notice that sometimes I just don't have the focus, or I lose the focus, or I just don't know what to do. But yeah, let's go into the results, talk about the matchups, and see what's next. The results. Uh, so in the first tournament, I went 1-3, and in the second one, I went 2-2. And so two of the three wins were buys. So yeah, it didn't went well if you look at the numbers of the wins and the losses. However, I had fun playing the deck, and I noticed that the win and losses didn't bother me as much as before. I like that shift because I want to focus on improving my uh, skills in One Piece TCG, and it made the games a little bit lighter for me, and I really like that. So I was as I didn't. So the expectation I had was, okay, let's I will lose probably a lot of games, and if I win, it it would be very nice. I do have to say before I go into the matchups, there were a few close games, uh, and those games were really nice to play. I had a lot of fun playing those. For me, it was like sitting on the edge of the chair. um, so had a great day actually. So yeah, so the results 1-3 and 2-2. And here's the deck list I used as well. It's the same one I was practicing with in the last videos I made. Um, I like the list. I had some luck with the triggers. Actually, in a lot of games, I had triggers. I don't know if that's the yellow player in me, but I had the finger pistol and the searcher, and I think I actually had all of them. Yeah, I think I actually had all of them, and I had some nice interactions with the triggers in some situations where I could have or where I played them. Um, but we will dive in with the matchups. For the first tournament, there were 4 rounds, and I had in the last round I had a bye, and I was kind of sad about it because I was like, I just want to play. Even with the losses from round 1, 2, and 3, I was like, yeah, just I want to play because I want to learn the deck. But yeah, unfortunately, I had a bye, so the first tournament ended after 3 rounds for me, and I played against the Shanks, an L, and the Bunny, and the Shanks and Bunny games were really close. Um, in the matchup against Shanks, I was uh, I wasn't expecting a Rush Sorrow. It was a rather aggressive Shanks build, so I had to take life on the attack with the Rush Sorrow, and in the end, it didn't really help the fact that my life was gone, um, and I had to guard the 10 drop Shanks and the dragon he got to play. So uh, I ran out of gas in the end. I mean, that's one of the things with the deck as well, right? I mean, there is a point in the game where you don't have any more cycling options because you also have to use the lead ability. Um, but yeah, so the Shanks game was close, but with a more aggressive style of play with Rosero, which I didn't anticipate, like I said, um, it it cost me another life. And I think if I think about it, um, if I had if I just had that one life in the state of the game I had in the end, it would have been much better. But hey, I mean, that's how it goes, right? I mean, you can only guess that much about a deck. But yeah, their tech choices and their styles to play with it. So I lost that one, and after that I had to play against an NL, and NL is one of my weaknesses. I just don't know how to play against it. It doesn't really matter which deck I pick. It's just like um, there is a window when attacking for life uh, and trying to control the board. But he was starving me, and he played Forecast Kuzan. So he put my Levit back into life because I didn't black hold him, because I didn't expected that he played the Kuzan. I was more focused on the end game for, from the 8 on turn because he was going second to negate the getting life back with Yamato and category and the rush ace. So, and after my Levit was gone, I didn't really have any cycling anymore. But yeah, I still had to use the black hole. So in the end, I ran out of gas, and he had like 2 categories and a Yamato and leader swing, and I went from 5 life to 1, and I had 110 cost uh, on the field, and I conceded because there was no way I could have won. He was at 1 life. But yeah, I had 1 or 2 cards in hand left, and I couldn't just do anything about it. So the NL matchup, I really need to know more about how to play against it. I need to get more. I need to practice more against the deck uh, because I was clueless. I think after the Kusan went on the table, I was like, okay. I was so focused on getting rid of the Kusan with the Q and Fenalger. I think I was too focused on trying to control the board instead of building the Jesus purchase. So for the end game, I could have used them. Um, Somewhere in the mid game, I made a misplay on attacking with the Jesus purchase, and I couldn't defend it on the opponent's turn, so I had to let it go, and I only saw one. So building the Jesus purchases was one of the things I really didn't do, and I was focused on removing his board with the duck Q and combination with the finger pistol and the boon. So I wasn't really thinking about the end game. So somewhere along the line, I changed a lot of directions in the game, trying to navigate to the end game. But I think that was an issue because it was just I felt like just doing stuff, just doing something without a well thought uh, play. But hey, I mean that's what I wanted to learn. You know, I mean it was very valuable to see how that matchup went and what it did to me, because this is just one of those matchups I just struggle with. So I have to uh, learn more about playing against NL, and also what do I want to do as a Blackbeard player. Um, so yeah, that game wasn't even close like the Shanks. It was just straight up. I was like, okay, yeah, I lost this one. So the third round, I had to play against Bunny, and Bunny is also a deck I struggle a little bit with because of the leader ability. I think it's annoying, and they can lock down. They can lock down the Jesus Burgess, of course, with the carrots, and they play the Cavendish. So I was forced more early to use the leader abilities. Um, but also keeping in mind they can play a free Hody Jones because with the black hole they can just play it. They have a rush, they can't rest, but yeah, it's an 8k rusher and they don't have to take life. Um, so that was a risky. That's one of the things I also already noticed against the Yamato. One of the, I don't know which video it was. I think the second one that they played the Hody Jones was yeah. So it's just a 8k rush buddy. But that was also a really close game. Um, the my last life. So let's see if I can remember it correctly, and I hope I don't really make it a lot difficult by explaining this. So um, I had played a 10 cost, and they had I think they had a Cavendish, uh, a killer blocker, and a Hody Jones. So I had to play the 10 cost to lock down the Hody Jones. So I had two 10 costs, lock down the Hody Jones. They had a Cavendish, the leader, and a Kid Killer blocker. And it was I also swung for life, and it took the life. And maybe in hindsight, I shouldn't have swung, but just wait out one more turn. Because I had like 3 or 4 cards left in hand. I had some counter, and I had one life left. Um, or wasn't? No, no, no. No, that's not true. I had two 10 costs and no cards left in hand. So if they played a Holy Jones, it was over. So they played the Holy Jones, rested my teachers, swing a life with leader for 5 because I had no cards in hand. So that, of course, that's free. But I had a liberation trigger, so I nullified the rush ability of Holy Jones. So I was like, oh wow. But I forgot that they still had 3 dawn left, so they put the 3 dawn on the kit on the blocker kit. I swung for 5, and I died. Really nice game. Love the fact that I could utilize the trigger of liberation, black hole, sorry, for negating the rush effect on Holy Jones. But again, close game. Had really fun playing against the bunny. And yeah, after that I had a bye. So overall, first tournament, of course, 3 losses and 1 win with the bye. Didn't feel very. Didn't feel very good. But like I said, I just wanted to play. So that was tournament 1. Tournament 2, I got a win, and that felt nice. So my first round was against a Katakuri. Um, Also too close for my liking. Um, but yeah, sometimes you just got lucky, and I had some luck with my my last life was a 1k, and with that 1k, it was enough to counter uh, the attack from the category. So I after that I just swung for life, and he had You're the ones with despair on last life, so I had to swing with 7 and 8. But luckily for me, he didn't have any counter. I couldn't. He couldn't counter. He could only counter uh, um, a 2k and a 1k after he took the last life, and I swung with 8k in the last hit. So that was exactly enough for me to win that game. The 7k of the leader was is kind of rough. I mean, it hits hard, and yeah, also the Kikunojo and the Perispero triggers or Satori um, yeah, makes it a little bit difficult because the board can be very wide in just 2 turns with some triggers from live and the 7k swing. Um, but in the end, the I won, and uh, yeah, I think that's about it. There's I don't think there's anything standing out on that matchup. I mean, it's nice to lock out the 10 cost Big Mom, but it's still a big body, of course. But yeah, it was nice chaining the 10 cost and locking out the Big Mom, and then just it was just enough, and it felt good. It felt good winning that game. Uh, it gave me a little bit of confidence. I was a little bit knowing what I was doing, so that was nice. Next game, I went against the same Shanks player. Only thing is, he played more aggressive than in the first round. The first round was uh, more slow. So at the sixth on turn of the Shanks player, he attacked for 7 with leader. I black holed him. I took the life, so I went from 4 to 3, and he had one Lucky Roo, and he put all the 4 down on the Lucky Roo and swung for 9, and I had to take the life. So in one turn, I had to take 2 life, and I was set at 2 life at my 7th on turn, and that game was really fast because on the following turn he played a dragon. And even with the black hole, I mean, it was like I had to counter the 5k from leader, of course, but then the next 9k from Durgan I had to take. And then I was at my 9th on turn, so I couldn't play the 10 cost because I was on the odd turn. And the game was over before I knew it. That was a quick game, and that's just that's just how it goes. It was fast. I blinked with my eyes and the game was lost. So, yeah, something to remember, I guess. I mean, sometimes people do things differently than you anticipated, but yeah, that's just part of the game. And then I played against the Yamato, and yeah, that's just a rough matchup. However, this one was closer than the Shanks matchup. Um, but still, the pressure of the double attack uh, with a Nami with banish, it's just scary. But in this game, I had my Fesco shots, so I mulliganed for those, and I found one. It helped me spreading out the game a little bit, but it just wasn't enough. I mean, the Yamato player still had 3 or 4 life in endgame because I was just trying to survive, and I didn't have any firepower to get more life down. And I think before I lost the game, I swung for life, and he got two. one trigger out of it, and that was just enough to finish the game. With playing all those games, I noticed a few things about how I play and how I utilize some of the tools in the deck. And one of the things I noticed is that I feel a little bit awkward with the stage. I am not really sure when I should play it, and if I should use the cycling every turn to fill up the trash for the Jesus Burgess. I mean, it is a resource heavy deck. If you can draw any with Lavit or This Is My Age, it's difficult to cycle that much, and also with the leader ability in mind. So I still have to learn more about playing Island, because there were a few games where I just didn't play it, and I really don't know if it would have made a really big difference. Um, but that's one of the things I still have to figure out playing forward, with playing more games, um, how the islands should be utilized, or can be, can be utilized in the deck itself. Also for Jesus Burgess as well. I mean, I know it's a powerhouse if you fill your trash, but I didn't play it a lot yesterday. I was a little bit more focused on controlling the board so I could play my 10 cost instead of playing the Jesus Burgess, maybe in combination with some removal. So somewhere in the mid game, or the late early game, mid game, there is room to play a Jesus Burgess, or at least I should think about playing a Jesus Burgess or find it so I can have it on the field, and then I can lock it down, lock it out behind the 10 cost, or maybe a Vasco shot, because it's just such a great card. I mean, I played it, but it wasn't really on my mind in every game, because I really was focused in the early game on removing instead of searching, and instead of playing Jesus Purchase. So somewhere I need to figure out the balance between, do I remove and control the board, or play a body so I can utilize it in the end game. Because if I can chain a teach and I have one or two Jesus purchases, that's just, and the trash is big enough that it's 9 or 10k. I mean, it's just over, because that's just too much. But I think I only played it in a few games, and was aware of the fact that I could pump his number up with trash in combination with trigger, with counter. But I didn't do that in every matchup. So against the Shanks in the first round, I played the Burgess, I played the 10 cost, and I searched for the Jesus Purchase. So in that game, I think because I was more familiar with it, because I played quite a few, not quite a few. I think the most games I played on the sim were against the Shanks, so the it felt more. I was more comfortable in that matchup. I think that's why it was also that close. At least the first first game, the second game, I just want to go for the second, but whatever. But in the first game, I felt more in control in how I wanted to play against the Shanks. And I think that's really valuable to know, because if I can be that, if I can, if I practice more against different matchups and I can recreate that feeling, it will be a lot easier to navigate through each matchup. But that takes time, and it takes time to play and practice and think about what cards I can or should play or not. But that's why I'm doing this, right? I mean, That's the reason I started this YouTube channel. I wanted to learn Blackbeard because it's a hard deck, and I want to shift my focus on learning instead of winning or losing. So I already talked a little bit about the removing factor of the deck. I really like Dark Q in combination with the Laboon. If I don't, there were a few games where there were a lot of 5 costs on the field, and I just couldn't get rid of them with a combination of Dark Q and Van Augur. And the Van Augur in combination with a Liberation or Black Hole. I switched the names up because of the sim. It's expensive. It just doesn't feel right. Uh, so that was it felt awkward a few times playing try wanting to remove stuff, but it costing more cards than a combination of Laboon and Dark Q. And I think that's also one of the things I have to remember. I don't play it's not I don't play Lucci. I play Blackbeard, and controlling the board with KOing is a part of the deck. It's not the deck itself. It's not the game plan of the deck itself. I mean, it helps setting you up for the end game with the Jesus Birches and the 10 cost. At least in my opinion, this is in my opinion. And KOing stuff helps you get to the end game. And somewhere I need to find the balance between building the board and controlling the board. But there again, also depending on the matchups and the knowledge of those matchups. But I think that's an important thing to remember for myself is if I feel like lost in a game, then I don't know how to play against that matchup or a character that the opponent played or an event or whatnot. So yeah, I need these are some pointers I have to work on for myself, and it's I can do that by playing the game, thinking about it, reflecting, analyzing plays I did, and also with your feedback. So if you see some plays on my videos, please don't hesitate on comments or give feedback or just uh, uh, say what you would have done in a certain situation or some tips for me that I could use. I would really appreciate that. But it's nice seeing that I learned I think a lot about the matchups yesterday. Matchups about the matches I had yesterday, and one of the or a few pointers I should work on going into the future. So yeah, in conclusion, I played 2 local tournaments yesterday and got whooped, but I had a really fun day. Learned more about myself playing TCGs, learned more about playing Blackbeard in real life. Had a really fun day with friends. So overall, I'm really happy about the results because I've taken a few learnings from it, and that's important. So I can continue to grow and continue to learn and continue to play this game. But this was the last local tournament of OP09, and in 1 month we will be playing in OP10. So what I'm thinking of is I don't have any tournaments anymore in OP09. No treasure cups or whatever, local tournaments. So my focus will be on OP10. So moving forward, I will be playing OPU10, and I know on the sim there it's EB02, so 10.5, but I don't think that's a big problem at all, because for my understanding the deck doesn't change from Blackbeard in 10.5, or maybe it will, and I have to see it for myself. But I found a few lists I want to try out. I actually played some games, and the Kusan is the Kusan is very good. I really like the Kusan. So I will be continuing learning Blackbeard, but I will changing up the format to OPO10, because that's where we will play in the next 4 weeks, or around 4 weeks. Official release is the 21st of March, and the 22nd of March I have my first local in the OPU10 format. So I hope I pull 4 Kusan SRs, or at least maybe can borrow it so I can play Blackbeard OPU10. And I think it's a nice thing to keep as some motivation. So in 4 weeks, I also have almost 4 or 5 weeks. I have the tournament in real life. So I really want to get some flying hours in with Blackbeard OPU10. Just play some games. I play a lot of games actually, and yeah, I hope I can also say something on the strategies in the near future. Um, but I don't feel confident in that yet. I really need to play more and test stuff out. So yeah, let's just do that. And I hope this video was a little bit enjoyable. Maybe yeah, I forgot the thought of line. But yeah, even these videos I will keep raw, because I just started. Also, I just started out recording in general. So my apologies if there are some inconsistencies um, in this video. But I'm also learning with editing, and feeling more confident in recording my own voice. And it's all just raw, and I will be thinking about the format and editing, and I will just do that in incremental steps. So one step forward with the videos, one step forward with learning decks, and for now that will be Blackbeard. And I'm excited to continue this journey on mastering uh, One Piece TCG in general, and growing in my skill to play this game. So yeah, thanks for watching. Um, if you have anything you want to say, or have feedback or tips or whatever, just comment on this video. If you liked it, give it a like. Um, and yeah, if you want more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have a great one, and see you next time.